Hi friends, Kelly here. Welcome back to my channel. Today is the letter J and we are talking about journals. And specifically we are going to make a journal, but I'm cheating a bit because we're making a tiny journal. But I want to do J and not T. So we're going to make some tiny journals. I have a video, I think actually it's a multi-parter, of making one of these exactly how you see it. I want to take one of these and use it as inspiration to make another mini journal, but this time we're going to do it beginner style. We are not going to use any tools or dies. We are going to just use paper, scissors, glue, ink, the basics. So let's take a quick peek at what I have on my desk so we know kind of where we're going here. So we'll look through those in just a moment, but just to get started, here are the supplies I'm going to work with. I'm not even kidding. Glue, scissors, and then some paper. And then of course, you know, inking and things like that. Okay, so here's my thought. I want to make a very tiny little journal. I don't know if I want it to be quite as chunky, but I have a feeling that's inevitable. I'm going to use my This and That Volume 1 kit and a few pages out of my Naturalist Notes Volume 1. And what I'm looking for specifically are the smaller pieces. So I have this kit on my desk. I'm going to go through and kind of look at what I can use. Then, if you remember back a few days ago, or videos ago, letters ago. Oh, and by the way, in case you are new to this, new to my channel, welcome. I would love for you to subscribe if you like the content I am providing for you. And a thumbs up at any point would be really wonderful. I am working through the alphabet in a collaboration called ABC April 2025. This is a collaboration by Margaret from Seven Plaza and Tony from Crafty by Tony. All of the information is in the description box. So check that out. Then you'll have an idea of what's going on. That's why we're on the letter J. Today is J. Okay, so when we did D for documents, I had a few extra things out on my desk. Of course, we ran out of time. And by the way, this will probably be a long video. I had a few extra things that I had wanted to play with to show you guys a little bit more of how you can take digital documents and turn them into vintage looking documents, pieces in your junk journals that look authentically vintage versus not. So I have those back out on my desk today, and I threw them back in my printer and I printed some background papers on the back because this project is going to be two-sided papers. That's what you're going to want for the majority of it. So I went in and I pulled out a few backdrops, not backdrops, those are not mine. Mine are called backgrounds. And these two here, if I can get them apart, these two are from my wallpaper backgrounds, Volume 1, and these two are from my backgrounds, Volume 1. You can find all of these items in my Etsy shop, which is linked below. But I'm going to use parts of this for the construction, the foundation, parts of the map. I want to use this bingo card, maybe this tag because it's pretty good size, and then parts of this. And then having it two-sided, it won't be wasted because I'll have some other items two-sided, but then I can use this piece if I just wanted to have a background, not worry about what's on this side. So I don't mind doing that. Also, I have an ink subscription. I highly recommend an ink subscription. I have an HP printer. I actually have 3 HP printers. I have an ink subscription for 2 of those. Okay, and one is just mostly my scanner. I don't print from it very often. Okay, so let's take a look at this. What are we going to use? We're going to use small bits. So this page here, I'll just kind of go through. This page is great because actually we could probably even use this for a page in the journal, potentially. But I'm looking for the little tickets, the stamp, maybe this moth, more tickets, little cards, this little ticket. Here, this could be used, this, parts of this, parts of this. And then when I have bigger items, like this could easily be cut down into 2 pieces. We have a photo, a stamp, a fish. This is going to be a very eclectic journal. I don't know its purpose yet. We could use this to make a page, although I didn't print this double-sided, so I won't be doing that. But You could use this whole kit, this in that volume 1, you could use the whole kit to make this project by simply just picking out some of the ones that have larger pieces on it and printing them two-sided. This ticket here, I'm going to use that probably. I'm probably not using all of this, but I'm just giving you ideas of what I can cut out and where I can use different pieces. This I could make smaller. This is a page that we already have. So again, there's tickets. This could definitely turn into a small page, as is this one, as is this one, as is this one. And then we have some photos. And then there is, for this collection here, there is a background page that you can use to print two-sided onto anything else. It's very basic. So that will work. And then the other thing I could do is, if I knew going in before I printed any of these pages, I'm going to do a small project, a tiny journal. You could print this two to a page, 4 to a page, make it kind of tiny, but this is a opportunity to use your digitals, whether it be my kit. I'd love for you to be using this, or any digital you have. Start to reimagine how you can use your digitals to create a multitude of projects, right? So thinking about how you can change the size by your printing options. How can you look at an item and visualize it differently? What could you do with that? When you turn it, does it look different to you? You know, trying to think about your digitals in different ways so that you're not just using them one time, printing and using them one time, but use them multiple times. Maybe you have a page that has, let's see if I can find something. There's a bingo card. Maybe the bingo card, maybe something like this. What if you print this and then you print it again? You printed like a pattern paper over it. Like maybe something that's got a really light look to it. I hope that's making sense. I'm gonna have to try that to show you guys what I'm talking about, because it's making perfect sense in my head, but it's not translating out of my mouth properly. Okay, so that's what we're gonna use the paper for. We're gonna use all those digitals. So let's take a quick peek at these little notebooks, journals, whatever they are. I haven't actually opened these in a while, so I have a good idea, I think. And I think this will work. Okay, so each one of these is bound a little bit differently. This one, I have the binding going around. It's just a piece of twine, string, whatever you want to call it. And the way I have secured this one is underneath this cluster and underneath this sticker in the back. I used some sewing in this one to bind it. I'm not gonna do any sewing in this project today because, again, I wanna keep it basic. You could hand stitch. I don't do that, so I'm not gonna bother. But let's take a quick peek at it. So this is constructed in 3 parts. Well, 4, I guess, if you count the slide. So we have 4 pieces that make pages, right? So for this one, it's a mini file folder. So we have a mini file folder. We have a little coin envelope, and then a book page. And then I ended up putting this little slide in. So this is going to look different for this book we're going to create today. But those are some good ideas. This one is held together with a paper clip. Usually it's around the whole thing. Again, we have a coin envelope. We have really terrible binding. We have a file folder. And, oh, that's it. This was the first one I made. So, oh, and a slide. There's a little slide in the inside. So this one was the first one I made. So it's a little floppy, and it only has the 2 pages. I should point you, I will link the video that I made where I think I made this one. Maybe it was this one. I can't quite recall. I made one of these. I have a video for it, or a couple videos possibly. But this is all inspired by Susie at Shabby Soul. Susie at Shabby Soul. I'll make sure it's linked below. So that's where my inspiration came from originally. But now it's my own project I'm going to recreate again. Okay, this one I bound with just a bit of elastic because I kind of ran out of ideas and it's really chunky. This one was a lot more play. I have a wax seal thingy on here. I'm not going to do that today. Let's see, we have the first page is a coin envelope. Second page is a file folder. And then this middle section again is a slide, which I really like, but maybe we will do one. But I'll show you how to do it without having to worry about having a slide die. I actually did do a video. I don't think I've posted it. I think I jumped into ABC April instead. So I have a video. I either already did it or I have one coming about faux slides and grunging them up and doing all kinds of fun stuff and how to make slides without having a die. But I don't know if it's posted yet. I'll take a look. Okay, so that's my inspiration. Those are kind of where I'm going. Now, looking at how this was bound by just punching a couple holes. That's probably what I'm going to do again. Same as this one. This one I sewed together. I'm not going to do, is that how I did it? Yeah, I'm not going to sew it together because I want to keep it basic. The other things I have here are not, these are definitely things you can do. For the binding, because I am going to just use some thread, it will have a tail. You can add some sort of little embellishment to the tail. Up here is, let's see, let's pull this out. Because if I remember correctly, yeah. So this part we can do because this is just a tag cluster. I did use an eyelet. I might do that. I know that's not especially beginner, but I can use some hardware. So I might use an eyelet. And then you can attach something through to the tails of the tag. And this is a tea bag that I used and also attached a little embellishment to the tail. I don't know what I just call these tails. I don't know. So there you go. Okay, so rather than spending time looking through each one of those and dissecting the little clusters and cards, let's just get jumping into making it. So we are going to need to make our foundations. So here's what we can do. Oh, I'm sorry. We are also going to use a corner rounder. Every crafter should have a corner rounder. You can get them super cheap on Amazon, craft stores. I've not actually seen one in a dollar store, but who's to say you can't find one there? Thrift stores, I don't know. Corner rounders are an essential. Get yourself a corner rounder if you don't already have one. But you don't have to round corners, so don't panic. And honestly, we're making grungy junk journals. If you cut it and then distress it, you're never gonna know it wasn't corner round. So I would get one of these. Mine is an old one from Becky Higgins, which was Project Life, and it has 3 shapes. I have other ones that are just one. I don't know what that's called. It's not a circumference, but whatever that is. I could live without this and just have one of these. You'd be fine. All right, so what are we gonna do for our dimensions? Let's think about that. I can cheat and base it off of one I already have, or we'll start from scratch. So let me cut some paper down here and do some measuring. So I'm gonna get my paper trimmer out. You don't have to have one of these. You can use the scissors. I just happen to have one, so I am going to use it. I'm gonna cut apart. You know what? No. We are going to truly keep it basic. Basic. Well, let's keep it basic. All right, so let's see. We're just gonna rough cut this apart because I know I'm not gonna go all the way down to the edge. And I'm just gonna cut. Not paying any particular attention to how I am on the lines because it's not gonna matter. I am going to use, keep the backs though, because I could stamp something on that, make little embellishments. Will this make it into the scrap bin in the end? Maybe not, but for this project, I'm gonna hold on to all that. Okay, so we have 2-sided here. Let me grab a pencil and a notepad. So get yourself a notepad, get yourself a piece of paper so you can start thinking through how do you want to do this. Trust me, this will be your friend. Oh man, I need lotion. Sorry, my hands are a little, it's dry out. Okay, so let's imagine we have a coin envelope. I probably didn't need to draw that so big. I'm just trying to visualize my components, and then a file folder. Okay. Not to scale. Okay, so that's going to be So then a coin envelope, you know, is gonna be like that. So what I really need to think about is if I'm gonna flap it closed, same thing with my file folder, if I'm going to open and close it, because for this project, I guess I could probably have explained this better. This is a coin envelope, right? So it would, and it's not sealed. I intentionally don't have it sealed here. So when you open it up, we are going to have, this is if it were closed, but when it's open, you know, it's going to extend this way, right? So it's going to go, whatever this width is, we're going to have to double that. Actually, a little bit more than double it because we want them to flap over each other, all right? So if I keep that in mind and I know the paper I want to work with, I'm going to make sure that, let's see, I'm going to do two. I'm going to do a coin envelope. I'm going to do a file folder. And then if I want to put something in the middle, as I did here, a slide, which I think I might do one of those. I can use something a little bit smaller because it doesn't have to be, it only has to go double length this way. Hopefully that made sense. Okay, so my parameters then become the size of what's going to be my file folder and my coin envelope. These two are not too far apart. So because the coin envelope is going to need more space, I'm going to use this as the coin envelope or the envelope. Okay, so thinking that through, I'm thinking it's going to be, let's see, maybe when it's a finished product, I want it to be 2 inches this way. I'm just going to compare that to see how far off I am. Let's go 2.5. 2.5. So I think 2 inches is not going to be big enough. Okay, so if we need 2.5, then we need 2.5 divided by 2 is 1 3/4. No, that's 3. 1 and 2.5 would be 1 1/4 in half. Yeah. But I want it to overlap. So 2.5 and I'm going to go 1.5 on either side. Okay, so let me do this on paper because if you guys weren't here, I'd be doing this on paper. Okay, so if I have my coin envelope, it's going to be in 3 parts, right? This is the base, so this is going to be a 2.5. And then if I go 1.5 and 1.5, that's going to give me 3 inches when it closes. So that'll give me more than enough. Probably too much, but I'd rather err on the side of too much. So that's what we're going to go with. Okay, so then what we need is we need 2, 3, 4, 5.5. Let's see if we have 5.5 across. Oh, and we do. Okay, perfect. So I am going to trim it here and about here. I'm just going to eyeball it with the script. Okay, I already lost my pencil mark here. Yes? Yeah. Here and here. Okay. So let's go ahead and cut this down. Mathing is not my favorite. So if you want to be able to follow along this project and just use my dimensions, then use my dimensions. In fact, I'm going to write it down on a different piece of paper so I can put it in the description. So hopefully now that's in there. Weird, that's like a time warp thing. Okay, so the coin envelope is going to be, so far we have it as 5.5 inches by, is that the way I wanted to do it? 5.5 inches. Yep. Okay. Now we have to decide how long is it going to be. Let's see. I want the pages. I really should have gotten a piece of copy paper because this is a waste of Post-its, but it is what it is. I'm too lazy to get up. Okay. Let's draw smaller. So when the whole little book is closed, I don't want it square. So let's see, we already know it's going to be 2.5 inches tall. So how wide do we want it to be? Do we want it to be 2 inches? Let's see how big this one was. We'll base it off the file folder. That is about 2 1/4. So 2 1/4, and then that fell out of something. The whole coin envelope with the flaps is 5 1/4. So, 5 1/4. That's now we're fractional math. Okay, so 5.25 would give us, let's see, that'd be 2.5 and 2.5. Plus I have to add in the 1/2 inch, which is like, that's 1/4 inch. So that's, I don't know, gosh, I hate math. So that's gonna get me my 5, and then I need fractions. So a couple of 1/8. I want 5 1/4. We're just gonna measure 5 1/4 and fold it in half. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry guys, I'm really, math is not my strong suit. Okay, I don't know if I want the fish, the whole fish. I think I want the whole fish. So I'm just gonna measure from the end of this text to, what did I say, 5 1/2? 5 1/4. What did I say this was? This is 5 1/4. Okay. Get that out of the way, get that out of the way. Okay, so where did my mark go? Oh my gosh. Should be using a marker. Okay, 5 1/4. So we'll go, it's 5 1/2, that's 5 1/4. Why does this feel like it's not gonna work? It will. Trust the process. Or make a mistake and we all learn from it. Yeah, okay. Did I account for the flat? Yeah, okay. This is why you pay the money for the dies, but I didn't for a long time. I didn't know if I would want them. I was not gonna spend money on a whole little die set that I didn't know if I would actually want to use. Okay, so we'll fold this in half. I think this ended up being smaller than I wanted, but I think it'll be fine. Okay. All right, so now we know how big that page is gonna be. And then we said, I'm gonna do it from this side. Which side is gonna be the outside? Because if we close it this way, you won't even see the fish or the text. And I really think I wanna see the fish. I think it's gonna be weird and I like it. Okay. So back to here, we're gonna have 1 1/2 and 1 1/2. So I'm gonna measure 1 1/2. Oh look, we have a handy little line there. Okay, so here, I'm gonna do it again on this side. Right about here. 1 1/2, okay. So that's gonna give me my folds, and I'm just gonna use my ruler to fold it as straight as I can. Okay. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. If this doesn't work, you're never gonna know because I'm not gonna show you guys. So if you're seeing this, yay, it worked. Okay, perfect. I will say that the one disadvantage to using photo mat paper for this is that it's kind of thick. But that's okay, we'll make it work. And I'm not even using a bone folder. Look at that. Okay, so now we have, well, that got a little more square than I wanted. But I think it'll, you know what, it will work out because we'll make sure that the file folder, because we want to be able to see layers. That's my goal. I did pretty good, actually. So the file folder, we'll just have to make sure is taller. All right, so now this is just a square piece of paper. So we need to make it into, let's go with 1/4 inch. Yeah? Should we do 1/4 inch of a tab? It feels like a lot. Maybe 1, 2, 3 16ths. Oh, I did math. I did math. That doesn't seem like enough. Nah, we'll go 1/4 inch. Okay, so I'm gonna go 1/4 inch. And And I'm going to do it again on this side. 1/4 of an inch. A scoreboard would be helpful in this because you could score everything and then you could cut on those lines. But I, again, want to go basic. Okay, so I have 1/4 of an inch. I am just going to, straight, please. Give it a crease. It does help to have a metal ruler, I will tell you. I got this one at Target if you're in the United States. Pretty inexpensive, a couple bucks maybe. All right, so then doing the same thing on the other side, marking 1/4 of an inch. Look, it happens to be on this little line. Well, this is obviously not straight because it's not on the line anymore. See, it's the paper or it's me. I don't know, or it's both. Okay, so let's line that up. That looks goodish. All right, so now we have our flaps. Okay. We got a whole lot of lines. Okay, so now what we need is we need to get rid of this portion and this portion because we're making a coin envelope, right? It has little flaps. So to do that, we want to, let's see. Do we want to miter it? We do. We want to miter it ever so slightly. So I'm going to actually start, so you can see. So here's my line that I'm going to cut along, but I'm going to start down here just a little bit and go at an angle. I think that'll make sense when I start cutting. So I'm going to start down here. And I could go further down if I wanted, but I'm just going to do this. And I'm going to cut to that corner. Cut it off. See how it has a slight angle? So I'm going to do that on all 4. No. Not that way. I'm going to do it this way. Oops, I went a little further in. That's all right. Okay, my brain is, I haven't drank all my coffee. I've barely had a sip, so maybe that's part of my problem. All right, I've had some coffee and I changed out the battery. Thank you very much. Okay, so again, down, just mitering it a little bit. Ooh, that one got a little weird. And I'm done. Oh, good. Okay. Now, I want to... I want to round these corners. I'm not going to round these corners. I'm just going to round these corners. So I'm going to take my corner rounder and I'm actually going to use, I think I'm just going to go with the smallest. Hopefully I can get it in there. Yeah, I'm just going to do the smallest one. I'm just folding these back to get them out of the way. They're not actually getting folded or cut or anything. What's going on here? That one was terrible. I didn't quite go all the way in. I don't know what happened there. It's okay. What is happening here? There we go. Okay, so see how that one didn't quite make it? So let's say I didn't have a corner rounder. What I would do, because I'm awkward, I would just make it a corner, rounded corner. Like that. See? Barely tell. And then we'll distress it and it'll be fine. Okay, so now we have a coin envelope. The fish will be on the back of this page. It's so cute. I love that. Okay, so we have our coin envelope. If I wanted to address this and make it a little bit more pronounced, I could. So let's just go ahead and do that. Let's just make it a little bit more of a miter, because then we'll see what's poking out of it a little bit more. We'll go here and here. There. Okay, so now when it closes up, you'll see stuff over here. Okay, we got our coin envelope. See? Easy, right? Basic tools. We didn't need anything specialized to do that. Set that aside. Let's do the file folder. So we're going to use the map. Maybe this is going to be with just the few items in this kit that I have that are nature-y. Maybe what I'm going to do is add it into my field notes folio. Or what I ought to be doing is adding it into, I gotta cut that down, our flippy floppy. We'll see how big it ends up being, because if it's really chunky, I don't know if I'm going to want to put it in my flippy floppy. Look at that. Ooh, that's going to be good stuff. We'll use that. Okay, set that aside. All right, file folder. We're going to, let's see. What I like about this is I liked that's a terrible example because it is, there we go. What I like is that the coin envelope is wider than the file folder. Because again, layers. So if the file folder is, what did we say it was? 5 1/4. Let's make, I'm sorry, the coin envelope is 5 1/4. Let's make the map 5 inches. So I'm just going to mark it here. And then we want it actually taller. We want it shorter this way, but taller this way. So if our coin envelope measures 2 1/2, let's make the file folder 2 1/2. What did I say it was? 2 1/2. So we'll make it 3 might be a little too much. So let's make it 2 3/4. So that's math. Oh, that's 4. That's 5 1/4. Is that 5 1/4? So 2 3/4. I better write this down or I'm never gonna be able to tell you guys. Let's see. So we got 2 1/4, and I need 2 1/4. So that is 4 5 1/2. No, 5 1/4. Yeah. Okay. Math. I don't like it. Okay, I've lost my spot again. Let's just cut this down. No, I want to preserve some of this because I'm not going to use it all. Okay, so we'll go, see, I think, is that right? 5 1/4? Let me think for a second. Okay, I can't think and talk to you guys at the same time, but I was right. It is 5 1/4. Okay, so 5 1/4 is going to be here. All right, so let's cut it down this way first. Because now I can just use that piece instead of cutting this way and then cutting this way. I'm trying to think smarter, not harder, if that's right. Why did I go? Oh yeah, I'm gonna cut it here. Forgot where I started my measurements. That way. And then right about here. All right, let's fold that in half. Wait, this is already not feeling quite right. What did I do? That feels really wide. What happened? I clearly did not, what was this supposed to be? Coin envelope was 5 1/2. What was I doing here? I did 5. Is that right? No, that's 5 1/4. And then I did this 5. Oh, I clearly want this to be shorter. Let's just eyeball it. Let's say we want it. I'm just going to do it right. I'm cutting off some more. I'm going to eyeball it. I'll give you guys dimensions though, because that would be weird. We'll say that's 4 1/2. Okay. So the folder is 4 1/2 by 5 1/4. The coin envelope is, let's go width. Width is 5 that's why, because it's not either of those. What is this? Oh yeah, 5 1/4. So it's 5 1/4 by, should be 5 1/2. What did we say this was? 5 1/2. Okay. This is what it looks like, friends, when you make prototypes. I didn't make this is not a prototype, this is a project, but that's what it feels like. If I can do this, you can do this. All right, so then we need to also fold this in half this way. Just gonna crease it. You might be saying, that doesn't look much like a file folder, but wait, there's more. It will be, don't worry. Okay, so now we can do this, or I did want it taller. So something's off. I want this to be, I don't want this and this to be the same, which they're not quite. Okay, so this goes in here. A little taller would have been okay, but I'm gonna just go with that. Okay, so now I can make a decision when I'm putting this book together. Do I want to see the taller item on the inside and the longer item on the outside? Or do I want to see the longer item on the outside, the taller item is on, or the inside, taller item on the outside? I am going to go this direction because I think it's cute to see this fish versus if he's inside. I feel like I'm going to cover whatever's on this page up more than I will if it's on the back. So that's going to be my driving factor. Okay, so we have our base pages down. This is going to be a long one. Now we have to think about that slide where we're going to do. Okay, let me see what I have left for paper. Could do it with the trees. Wonder if I could. I have an idea. Okay, I'm gonna try using this tree piece here. So I'm just gonna trim the bottom off so I have something to work with here. Lovely. Okay, here's what I'm thinking. If we make our slide out of this portion down here, fold it in half, we can cut a window and then we can see whatever's on the inside. We can see one of these trees. That is my thought. And I'm gonna use this bottom portion because of the scale of the trees. So we're measuring, we're gonna go 2 inches. We're gonna do simple math this time. We're gonna cut it at 2 inches, but I do wanna make sure I get the tree. So I'm gonna use that as my line. Yeah, I'll just do that because then I can save this whole section here. It can be cut apart and used for embellishing. So let's cut that strip off. Okay, then we're gonna go 2 inches. And you know what? I'm just gonna cut out straight across because I don't know exactly where I want to use it yet. So right about there. And let's eyeball it. So we're gonna go right across. It's a little bit shorter, but that's okay. Probably not exactly straight, but I'm not gonna worry about it. I can fix it. I can see it is not straight, but I can fix that. Okay. Then I'm just gonna go with 4 inches. Again, math, easy. I'm kind of thinking I want this tree to be the focal point. So I'm just gonna cut it right here. And then I'll go 4 inches from that side. Somewhere in this tree here. All right. Saving these pieces, because again, I printed them on the back, make lovely cards. Folding this in half, make a cute little slide. We're not gonna be sealing it yet, because we need to cut a hole into it. So here, on this side. So we're gonna do some cutting here. So, how is the best way to do this? I could do measuring, but I'm clearly terrible at that. So what I'm doing is I'm looking around my desk for something I can trace. I was thinking square, but now I'm kind of thinking round. And what I'm gonna grab is a washi tape. Do I have any that are smaller? I think I do. Or, ooh, would this work? Oh, a little mini ink block would work as well. So imagining this is where it'll be. Should we do square or round? Let's just do square. Let's do square. Okay, so what I want to do, let's get that out of the way. Actually, I should use that. It's lovely. I'll bleed that out. What I want to do is cut a hole on this side so that when it's opened, or when you have it closed, you can see through it. And then what will happen is, I already forgot what we decided. Yeah, that's the outside. I'm going to attach it in here. So you'll open it up, you get that page, you'll have this little slide. Perfect. Okay. So let me kind of just tighten it up a bit here. All right. So then we just need to trace this. And you can make it, if this was bigger, you can, you know, make it bigger, but you can decide, do you want it to be centered? Do you want it to be more this way? Kind of more like a slide would be. I'm thinking I'm going to go slightly more this direction. And I'm thinking right about there. Okay. This would probably work better if I had a sharpened pencil, but I don't. So I'm going to just use this one to trace it. Tracing it from the inside might have been better, but I didn't. Okay, and then, oh, this is not a sharp pencil. I'm going to use my scissors. Guess what I'm going to do? This is a terrible scissors for this. Poke a hole. Probably not going to be using this paper, this centerpiece again. If I had a die, I would have just, this is a terrible scissors for this. I am going to switch to a smaller scissors. You should have your scissors, if you're a beginner, your scissor game is also a space that you want to spend a little bit of money on. There's rounded corners, so I'm just going to round them, and it's going to be not perfect by any means, but it's okay. So these scissors here, these are Fiskars. They were not very expensive, maybe 10, 12 bucks, but they have a really nice, sharp, fine point, and these are great for fussy cutting. These scissors I keep on hand because they're really, really great. These are actually fabric scissors, but I love them. These are from Singer. These I use to cut paper. These I use for fine work. So get yourself a couple pairs of scissors. You don't need to spend a ton of money on scissors, but you don't want to use crappy ones from like the dollar store. Get yourself some good scissors. Invest. It's worth it. And there. Okay. See? Again, I didn't need a die. Oh, that would have been lovely to keep, but I wrecked it. Oh well. Didn't need a die, just needed a scissors. Probably could have done that on the inside, so I don't have pencil mark, but I'm going to ink it, so it'll be fine. All right, and it's just stressed enough with just the little bit I did. But because I'll forget, I'm going to distress it a bit now. Let's just do this without ripping the paper. A little around the edge. I actually like these scissors better for doing this fine distressing work on inside than I do my little tool. So I have to remember that. And then this is going to be the delicate, tricky part. I'll just shave it off a teeny bit. Just give it a little bit. All right, so that'll be ready for inking, which we'll do all at one time. Okay. So now we have our components. Well, let's start working on some pieces to go in it. So pulling one of these back in, I really don't like using that one. It's so floppy. We'll use this one. This little book, now let's talk about the enclosures. So the reason why I'm not going to close up, see how that's open? I'm not going to close that up because you can make interactive pieces then that go in and fit in here. Now I did a lot of sewing here. I sewed this together, but we can achieve the same thing with glue. Not to worry. So we have that little inclusion in that pocket tucked in there. This is just a cluster. Then we have a card that comes out. This one is built kind of the same idea where this flaps up. So it could sit on the outside, but I'm just going to tuck it back in. Then here's our little slide. Cute, huh? This is a sticker, so nothing special there. I mean, it's all special, let's be clear. This is a tea bag. I'm not going to do that today because I don't happen to have any used tea bags, but I'll tell you how I did it. This is just a used tea bag. I think I probably just soaked it and then dumped all the stuff out. Let it dry. So if you have, you know, your cup of tea, take your tea bag out, let it completely dry. When it is completely dry, you can cut it open or rip it open, get all the tea out, and then it's already tea dyed, right? Stained, beautiful. Then I took just simple paper, these were a couple of photos. I stuck it, so this tea bag was in 2 parts, okay? Stuck it in there, inked it, did all the things I wanted to, which doesn't matter a whole lot, but still, I had fun. Stuck it in there, and then I used collage medium, Tim Holtz Ranger collage, is it Ranger? Yeah, collage medium, but Mod Podge would work just as well, you know, not much different. And then the tea bag already had its little ties, its little whatever, or maybe I added these, I don't remember. I think I might have added these myself. But there you go. And then I just did a little stamping on it. So super easy, really cute. Probably should make a bunch at one time because, you know, why not? Got a simple clusters. Here's another little card with a cluster. I did use some hardware there. Don't have to. I left it flopping up so that it can tuck. Hello, get in there. Just like that. That's it. Super cute, right? Very simple. So we just need some inclusions here. The only other thing that we need is our tab for the top. So let's make a tab so we don't forget. And let's see. Should we use the floral paper to incorporate that? How's that gonna look? That's tucking out. Oh yeah, that's cute. Okay, so I'm gonna eyeball it. We're just gonna go about yay big. And that is very crooked. Clean that up a bit. Actually, every side is crooked because my eyeballs apparently are. That's okay. All right, we're gonna fold it in half. Ooh, this one might be a little too big still. All right, fold it in half. Yeah, I think I want to trim it down. Do I? Yeah, we'll just trim it down a smidge. All right, then I'm going to use my corner rounder, but you could also use your scissors. I'm just going to give it a little rounded edge. Oh, I think I used the wrong one. I wanted it to be smaller. Tis what it is. Okay, then this will get attached just like that. Now we have a file folder. I could also use the paper from the inside. That might be kind of cool. Do I have a chunk big enough? I do. Nah, I already made this. I'm going to stick with it. So this will get attached here. But again, I'm going to do some inking. And then actually I'll do it on the outer edge. The other thing I want to do is round these corners. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do them individually though. We might as well stick with the same shape as the tab. Am I going to round the corner where the tab's going? Gets attached like that. No, okay. Not going to round that corner. I am going to round the other 3 though. If I change my mind, I can change my mind. But for now, let's just do it that way. Then I'll remember where it's going also, and then it'll just be a little continuation up the side there. Yeah, that's fine. I don't mind that. Okay, so that'll get, let's start a little pile of stuff to ink. Oops. And distress. Okay, so that. So that's our base. Gonna need some embroidery floss or twine, or you know what I'm gonna use is thread. Okay. Just gonna use some simple thread, but you can use really anything you want to bind it, so we'll bind it. Okay, let's get our little bits that are gonna go in here. Let's see. Now, the other thing I want to keep in mind is that I do want them to be two-sided, right? But they don't necessarily have to start as two-sided. we can add things to the back. We can ink it, we can add pattern paper. I happen to have some things that are already printed pattern paper. So I'm gonna cut this tag out because I think I'm gonna use it. It's a little big, but I think we can cut her down. And let's see, I'm gonna cut this out. That's good enough. I kind of wanted to use this bingo card, but now I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to use it. But just so it's ready to roll, I'm going to cut it out. Because I don't need to use the whole thing. I can just cut a portion. And then I might as well cut these tickets out. Okay, some scraps. So the tickets, I'll show you another trick with tickets because it has the notch. So we have a tool. We have a tool for that. A very simple, basic tool. You can get it at the dollar store. So another one to add, write a list. Are you writing a list? Get a list. If you're new to junk journaling or you don't have any of these things, you should have a notebook. Get yourself a notebook, have it handy when you watch videos, and start writing notes. And what I would recommend is, if you like to be organized, have yourself a notebook, put on the notes the source of where you found the idea, because I'm terrible at that, and then I can't remember who I saw it, where I saw it, who I saw it, when I saw it, how I saw it. So write down the title of this video. Write down, if you happen to write any tips from me here, write down the title of the video, write down the creator, me, Kelly, Craft Social Kelly, and write down even if it's something you really, what is happening here? Don't want to forget, write down the time of the video that you saw the idea. Trust me, if you see something that you're like, I am going to do that, I want to come back to that, write that down. There's probably some very like fancy electronic way to do that, but I'm old school. I like paper, clearly. And then get yourself a section in that notebook of tools to invest in. Write yourself a section of that notebook of products that you want to look at. Write yourself a wish list page, things that you don't need, but you sure would like to have. Start yourself a little notebook. You'll be happy you did. Okay, so very cheap hole punch, dollar store, thrift store, Target, Walmart, wherever you shop. You can probably find one of these. You can probably get one at a grocery store. So all I did was I notched out the sides. And then if you ever have, a ticket punch on the corners, you can use this tool to just notch out your little ticket corners. So this one has a couple. So that's what I'm going to do, is just give them a little notch. There. We went from a very simple piece of paper that I cut out to what looks like a pretty cool little ticket, little coupon ticket thing. So I'll do this side. There you go. Voila. All right. Let's address this tag. Words. Okay, get rid of that. I think what I'm going to do, I've got piles everywhere here. Scrap piles that are going in the garbage, scrap piles that I'm keeping. I think I'm just going to cut it right along this line here. That will go into a different project, and now we have this. Same thing, I'm going to use our punch tool, and we're going to get rid of that circle. Ta-da! Looks good. All right, got those two. Now, how are we going to utilize this bingo card? I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut it down into, I'm just going to cut it across. This is an unnecessary trim, but it bugs me to see all the white. So I'm going to get rid of it. I don't like it. I'm going to actually use, here's what I'm going to do, because I want to use this in something else. I have a little bin of bits and pieces like this, so I'm going to keep the bingo part, and I'll just set that aside. Here is the part I want to use. Do I want to use free space? Yeah. I'm going to cut it here. That'll be a card. That'll be extras. Now, I could totally come in and just cut out a number, which I might do. I like that. Okay, I might use that. Okay, so now we have a little card. Let's see, how's that gonna go? If we were to, let's see, we're gonna do it this way. So now we could have a little card stick out. I like that. Okay, so let's keep working through our digitals here and see what other, let's keep our pile of things we're gonna use. Everybody get out of the way. Extra pieces. Okay, moving on. We have these things here, not two-sided, so those are definitely going to be items that get glued down. So I'm going to cut that apart. Let's see. I like this pop of green, so I'm going to pull this green ticket out. And since I'm cutting, I might as well go up to this one. And I'll cut this away. I don't know why I'm holding it so weird. Come on. Cut those out. Okay, set that aside. Now let's move on to this page here. We have more tickets. Kind of big. It's bigger than a whole page. But I'm gonna cut it anyway. That's gonna be some fussy cutting. Blech. I don't like that, but that's okay. I have an idea. Cut that out. Let's see, anything else on this page? I think I'm sticking to a field notes 5 here, so I'm not going to use that. Set that aside. Let's see, what do we got here? We have a ticket. Let's cut that out. That could be good. Because we could maybe fold it in half. I mean, it gets kind of thick, but maybe we could fold it in half and make it a little card of some sort. Pull that out. And then I'm going to cut this piece away because I like that. Use that. Okay. Oh, we got to have the fish. Don't you think we need the fish? Or this piece here? I think it's got to be the, well, we have a fish. Let's cut this apart. I'm just going to cut, here's what I'm going to do. Cut across the whole thing. Get all of this out. Won't use that. Okay, so if we cut, hello, scissors. Oh, that was terrible. That's all right. We'll cut this apart. I am going to just do this. Okay, now, taking that off, my nose is itchy. Now we have this other piece here that could be a really cool ticket for something else. So I'm just gonna trim it out since I'm already doing it. See how I'm following the line here? I like to do that whenever there's not a straight edge. I like to keep that intact because then what we can do is we can come back and we can use our favorite distressing paper destroyer and we can rough it up. And now we can make that look more authentic, right? I probably should just, there. Okay, so that goes into the maybe pile. Keeping this out, bits and pieces everywhere. Get this off of here. Not using that. I don't think I'm gonna use anything on that page. I'm gonna clean up a bit. And that is sports related. So this little stamp will be good. Let's get that out. Someday, see, there's nothing on the back, so I'm not worried about it. When you are catching up on a YouTube video, but you're just kind of listening, you don't need to be super focused in on it. Get yourself out some of your digitals. Especially ones that you've cut into like this would be a good pile to work through, and then just start cutting all the things out and then create yourself a little pile of it. So then when you are sitting down to create, you're not having to do this process, but we're doing it together so you can kind of see how I pick and choose what I'm picking and choosing. Let's see here. What else? I have an idea there. Those photos are too big, but if I printed this and scaled it down, that would work out really well. I'm going to do that because I want you guys to see what I'm talking about here. So I'm going to go I'm going to go print this and maybe another page, 2 to a page, so we can see what that looks like. So I will be back. Okay, we're actually on my computer right now because I wanted to just briefly show you a few things here. I had to do it anyway, so I might as well bring you along. This is where I store all of my junk journal essentials. I don't really have the best organized system for this quite yet. I've tried a couple of different things. Sometimes I name a folder by the artist. Sometimes I will name it by what the contents are. So if it's an artist that I know specifically, Art House Whimsy, I know the things that I like from them. I know what I've bought. But Artful Era Gallery, I'm not really sure what it is I purchased. So then I got to go in and I got to take a look. So sometimes I try to organize my files based on how I'm going to use it, what it is. And then there's things like, Seven Plaza. That's Margaret. I have, all my files there because I know what's hers. So I thought I would show you that real quick, but that's not what I came here for. I came here to print out some of this and that. So when you purchase This and That Volume 1, or really any of my Etsy listings as of this video, I have to remember to say that because it could change. As of the time I'm doing this video, you get them in multiple parts and you get them as a PDF. So I have 5 parts. And this is really just because of how Etsy organizes their platform. We can only do 5 digital files. It can only be a certain size. So that's why sometimes when you get really big kits, it's like in a zipped file or you have to go offsite to download. So let me open this one up and we'll take a look and we'll do some printing. Okay, I've opened up some of the digitals here. Let's see, which one are we going to do? We wanted the photos, so we got to figure out where those are. Nope. This one. Okay, so I want to print this page right here. It's hard because I want to point with my finger. Right over here, this photo of these 4 people. I really want to use that one, or I want to use this photo of all these people down here. So that is what I'm thinking. So I know I want to print that one smaller. And then I think I also want to print, well, this one I only have 3 choices here. So I guess I'm going to print this one smaller too. All right, so I'm going to go into my print dialog and I'm going to tell it multiple. Now this is going to be different depending on your system. So let's see, I always have to think about this. So this is the best way to do it, is to just putz around, right? Okay, so I'm telling it I want 2. Let's see what happens if we change it to horizontal. If we do it to, well, it didn't seem to matter. If we want 4, we're going to get 4. I only have 3 pages to this, but we're going to get 1 page. I think I'm going to do that. It's going to be a really tiny picture, but this is a really tiny journal. So that's how I want that to look. So now I have 4 to a page. Depending on your system, you can get, if this, I could see how this would be helpful, not necessarily with my kit, but if you had a digital where it's all one PDF, and I can kind of tell you a way to cheat that a little bit. Potentially. If you had it all as one file, you could create yourself, I'm pointing and using my hands to talk right now and realize you can't see that. You could then make yourself kind of like a little proof sheet. You could see what you have in that whole entire collection. I need to remember that. Okay, so if we go to thinking about this being a half a page, those are going to be still probably too big. So again, I'm just going to say 4 because there's only 3 pages, but that's okay. I'm going to get all 3 of these. So I am going to go ahead and hit print. Now, since I'm in here, I'm just going to go ahead and show you. For me, I can hit page setup. I'm telling it the printer I want to use. I'm also going to tell it see, you have all these settings, right? I'm going to tell it I want it on US letter borderless, and I want to make sure that this is clicked. This is just because it's my printer. Every printer is different. Your dialogue is going to look a little different. But poke around in here, have a little bit of playtime, and figure out what it is your printer is capable of doing. And you can even do custom sizes sometimes. So, all right, so I'm going to keep it to that. Go ahead and click OK. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get this printed. But then let's see if there's anything else we wanted to print. Okay, I have everything printed that I wanted to print. I did a few extras once I turned the camera off. I'm gonna have to remember that I can screen record and do that more. So that was cool. Okay, so here are the 3 pages. This photo is so tiny. Well, the photo's not tiny. It's little, like I wanted, but you can't see the people, but you know they're people. That's fine. That works. And then this photo here of these friends. I think one of those 2 I'm going to use. But then I thought, oh, look, now I made myself more little cards that I can use. And then I decided to go ahead and print this section of the kit, these 3 pages. I'll use that as scrap paper, not to worry, just to see what the scale did, and it's adorable. I love it. So now I could use these in this tiny journal. So if you're going to make a tiny journal, get yourself your digitals, print them multiples to a page. And then I also just printed a piece of the background, or the background page from it, onto copy paper. Actually, it's 32-pound paper, so it's a little bit better than copy paper, but it's thinner so that I can back any of the items if I want to, that aren't printed on the back side. Okay, so let's set that aside. Before I started that process, I had this page and I was looking at these little round bits and I was thinking, ooh, those could be really fun embellishments. So I could come in and cut any of these out. Now, if you had a paper punch, you could make it easier on yourself, but again, you have a scissors, use them. But I'm gonna set that aside right now because I have all these little bits to work with and I like it. Okay, so let's bring in the journal so we can kind of get an idea of where we're at. And let's see. So I had cut this out to make a little card, which I still think will be a good size. And now I can back it, or I can stamp on the back, which I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I might just ink it and stamp on the back. But I do have a smaller version now. See this little teeny one? That would work. So fun. I have a little picture there. I'm pretty excited about that. These are much smaller now, which I think I'm going to cut those out. And I was kind of thinking maybe one of these cards here. So let's get this out. The stamp is a little small, but I might use that anyway. So we can check the size. Okay, so I'll just set that aside. We'll come back to that. And then let's get these photos out. I'm just going to cut the whole page out. And that way, that on the side. Okay, so we have this photo here of these friends. They could be, you know, out in the field, naturalists, exploring, taking their lunch break, snapping a quick photo. Again, gotta make a story. What's this for? Why are we making it? Cute little photo. And then this one is of a large group of people. And I do believe this was actually like some sort of university or society or something, if I remember correctly, where I got the photo. Okay, so then I'll cut those up another time. All right, so we have all these cute little bits and pieces. Actually, I know exactly what I'm going to do with this now that it's this size. We are going to cut them apart and put them back to back, and it's going to stick on the tail end of something. Don't know what yet. Because they should be relatively the same. Yes, I like that. Okay, so let's get some stamping going. We need to do some stamping and some inking and get this thing constructed. So we have our tiny journal. Now you can see why the other one I made is multiple parts, because this is not a quick project, but it is fun, and I recommend giving it a try. All right, yeah, see how cute that is now? Let's put them back to back. They're probably not exactly, wait, what just happened? There we go. Oh, they're pretty dang close. They're pretty much spot on. Okay, we have that piece. Got all of our stamps. We have another small stamp, which I'm gonna use. So now it's just kind of a matter of building out little clusters, which is always so fun. Building little cluster cards is one of my favorite things to do for just having some playtime and being creative. Don't want to lose the tab. And practicing some skills. So let's get our bases ready to go. So I'm going to finish cutting up everything here on my desk, all the little parts that I've pulled out, and then we'll start making our little inclusions. Okay, I have a little pile of things ready to go, and then I decided what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and start gluing some of them down onto this background paper that I printed. The pieces that I think I'm going to use as cards, and then I can just, oh, that one has something on the back. And then I could just trim them all out and have a few extra cards. I didn't really think through how many I need, so I'm just gonna do this, make it simple on myself. That way I don't have to cut a whole bunch of paper. I just do it all at one time. And let's see, I think this is the last one. So get that all, and we'll just go right here. Yeah, because the rest of these items are probably going to get glued down as cluster pieces, and these are already backed. The other thing I did is I did not want to fussy cut the antennas, so whatever this ends up on, I'm just going to draw them on. Nothing wrong with that. All right, so let me cut the rest of these items out, and then I'm going to ink everything. Before I do that, I wanted to... I think there was one other, maybe it wasn't. Here's another one of those things that has a little... the original piece, before it scanned, had a little hole there. So it's a triangle, which is lovely. I don't have a triangle, so instead I'm gonna get rid of it like that. Which is another great, use your paper punch. This doesn't have any things notched out, but it does now. So you can use that to your advantage to make additional little, things that are cut out or whatever. I kind of like that whole idea of one in them just random. Do that again. All right, let me cut these out. Let me ink everything so we're ready to roll, and then let's start assembling this little tiny journal and making our little clusters. All right, I have everything inked, except I wanted to address this because if you remember my video the other day for D is for documents, I talked about how you can warm up or change something that maybe is a little too white or a little too cool with antique linen. So I thought I would do that on this little folder here. So I'm just gonna ink all around, oops, and make a mess. So I just really kind of want to warm it up. It's a little bit more on the gray tone. I want to add a little bit of warmth to it. And so before I started inking the edges, I thought, oh yeah, I was going to talk about that. And I don't know that I did a sufficient job in my video that I talked about distressing documents. Maybe I did. I don't recall. That was like, days ago. But here's another opportunity. Okay, so that just kind of warms it up a bit. And then I can come back in and ink it. I feel like there was one other thing I did that I was going to share, but I don't remember what it was now. So when I come across it, I'll let you know. Yeah, so when you're working on a project like this, just get all your pieces ready, and then for me, I feel like sometimes a bulk process works well to do all your cutting, then do all your inking, and then you can start getting really into that creative groove. That's not always how it works for me, but ideally, that's what I would like. It's not realistic always, but that's okay. All right, so then I'm just paying attention to all of the inside pieces that I know are gonna be seen, and I'm probably covering some that aren't, but that's okay. I'm covering all my bases here. Getting all of these edges. That won't be seen, that won't be seen, the inside won't be seen. So those won't be seen, but this will. Okay, I think I got it all. Yeah, looks good. All right, so that is all of our inking. The only other thing I didn't ink, where is it, is this piece here yet, because I'm gonna do that once it's all attached. So let me get those out of the way, and then I'm gonna use VersaFine to do my stamping. I wanna do some stamping, and I wanna do some clustering. Let's do some clustering. Okay, so let's look at our construction here. It's gonna go like this, and like this. Oh. There we go. What did we decide? This is the outside. It's that fish that I keep thinking about. Oh yeah, the fish. Okay, so that's that. This will get closed up. I am gonna close that up once I get it in there. That'll go in the middle. It's kind of lost, maybe. It'll be fine. The tab. Let's get the tab on so we don't forget. Where'd you go? And then I should probably go around the edges to make sure it's good and on which side's the front. Let's do this. Okay. So I had that one corner intentionally ready to roll. So we're gonna go maybe like that. Ooh, come back, come back, come back. All right, about there. There. I could have glued it on so that it was coming from the inside or the outside. I don't really care. It does not matter to me. Pick your preference, whatever that might be. Okay, let's see. We are going to construct the whole thing and bind it at the end. That's my preference. I keep doing this wrong. You go on the outside, you go on the inside. There we go. Okay, now we have our little mini journal. That's what it's gonna look like. Cute, cute, cute. Okay, so the front needs something. What are we gonna do on the front? Okay, so these are my cards that I can use. And these are the things I think I'm gonna embellish with. This might be a card. Oh, I have a lot of squares. I don't really have anything small and like labels or anything like that. So let's make some of those. We're gonna get some stamps out. We're gonna make some labels and we're gonna do it on just our scraps. Let's see what we have here. We can use that. Remember I said keep all those little bits. I don't know why I'm holding that. Let's go in here and see what we have. I think these are gonna be our best bet. That background paper. Could use that. That'd be lovely. We can make something cool with that. We could probably use that. we can use it all. Just pull it all out. Just get all your bits, all your scraps. I don't think I'm gonna use those. Oh, we don't want to lose our photos. Not using that. Get out of there. Don't want that. No. No. Okay. Get these things out of the way for sure. No. All right. Everything pushed to the side. So now we can look at some embellishments. Let's do one quick peek again through here. Could use that. Yeah. All right, that's the one I did. That's copy paper. Let's see. If there's any other. Do I want to cut one of those round things out? I don't know. Do I? Yeah, I don't think so. Photos. Could cut one of those round things out. If we really need something round, I can come back to it. Yeah, I think that's the way to go. Okay, let's work with what we got here. The other thing I would maybe probably do if I wasn't trying to keep this as simple as possible is I might go into like either another digital set, which I could, I don't know why I wouldn't, or maybe my Tim Holtz ephemera packs that have like little layers and butterflies and bugs and all those things. But we're just gonna keep it simple and do some stamping. All right, so what's the card that's gonna go in the front? Let's see. How about, I think we're gonna do a bingo card sticking out like that. Okay, let's move the slide because we don't need that right now. I think it'll be easier if we just figure out where our cards are going. Could do a card there. Okay, then could have the fish poking up and out. That's cool, I like that. Okay, we got a bingo card sticking out of that one. Let's see, we've got a tag. That's kind of big. Got our butterfly. Ooh, that's cute. I like that. Okay. Then we have this tag. How are we going to incorporate that? No, I don't really want to cover up this tab. How does that look sticking out? You might be getting 2 cards, sir. And then, of course, I made this, and I don't think I'm going to use it. I mean, look at how bulky it already is, and I don't have anything added onto it. So I think you're a backup. Got our photos, got all these, plus we have the slide. Okay, I think we know what we're doing. So let's just work through, let's make the cover and then work through the cards. So I'm gonna pull this apart, set this over here. Well, I know this could be a long video if I've exhausted 2 batteries now. Okay, cover. Let's go with, I'm really liking this 1 coupon thing. And let's see, we do, yeah, we're gonna need another embellishment of some sort. What am I gonna do about that? Oh, let's stamp something behind it. Let's stamp like a bug or something. Ooh. Yeah, let's get a couple of these stamp sets out that we want to be using. Let's just get them all out. We know which ones we're gonna go for. Where is registered? Okay. Actually, I thought this big 5 would be cool. What was I doing here? These and these? Yeah, let's do the big 5. Okay. That'll be cool. Block. Oh, I don't have a, I didn't get my thing ready. Too lazy to get up. Way too lazy to get up. So, I'm gonna cheat, do what I usually do. It's probably gonna be too wet, but that's okay. I'll make it work. I don't want to get up. I'm in the flow, right? We're in the flow. We don't want to be bothered with having to get out of our chair. Ugh. I probably still should go to work today. It's kind of optional today for me. Oop, almost dropped that. I don't usually work. It's a Friday, and I don't usually work Fridays, but I have been working some because I'm traveling next week, and so I'm like, ooh, I should probably get some hours in and make sure I'm got everything I need to do before I'm gone, but I feel pretty good about that. So let's do 5 right there. Oh, that looks so good. I do like that a lot. It's hard to use this one all the time for me though, because I'm like, you can't just slap a 5 on everything. It's kind of weird. Okay, and then these 2 here. You can still tell it's a number. Right? Yeah, I like it. Okay. We're keeping these clusters simple. You certainly could come in with extra, you know, whatever your ephemera of choice is. I could add some butterflies, some bugs, little labels, little tags, whatever I have on hand. But I'm going to keep it simple on this one. There we go. Okay, cover. Done. Now, let's see. Let's stamp something here. That would be fun. Let's see, how about, let's go with the word registered. See how dark this is, fallen leaves. It's not quite black, it's real dark brown, and I like it. Registered. And then, how about a number or a point? Ooh, a pointy finger. Let's do the pointy finger. I think it's gonna be this one, right? Yeah. I think that's a little too wet. Everything's sopping. All right, little pointy finger. Perfect. Alrighty, cover, check. Moving on. All right, let's close it back up. And then, let's see. Come on. Everybody get in line. Cool. Okay. Next. All right, next we got this card here. So it's gonna tuck out, but I wanna do a fun like interactive piece. So let's do maybe that, so that when it's tucked in, this piece will kind of flap over like that. Somehow this will be like that, and then you'll see the tiny bit at the bottom. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so we're just gonna glue that right across the top because we want it to flap, so we're just gonna glue the top, and we're gonna put it right on there, right at the edge. Okay. Then to embellish it a bit more, we can add a little stamp down here. So let's put, here, this jumped out at me. It's kind of funny because it's got a fraction on it, and this was a project that me and math were not seeing eye to eye on. Okay. Then that, once it's all tucked in, come on, will sit like that. Did I not ink this? I didn't ink this. Huh, okay. Where's my dauber? That was hitting my eyes wrong, so now I understand why. Because I didn't ink this one. There. Okay. All right, so back you go into the pocket like that. That's cool. Okay, we're gonna come back to the back of that one because I'm not sure. I want to get the fronts done and then come back, and then that way we can go in and cut out some more things if we need it. Okay, so that card's gonna go there. Actually, let's look at that again. If I wasn't filming, I probably wouldn't be going as fast now, but I am. So, what could we put on? I kind of wonder if I do want to use one of these. No, that's really big. I don't want to use that. What should we put there? What if we did... Ooh, I like that. Let's do that. I'm gonna put this moth. I'm sure it's a moth. I don't think it's a butterfly. That's gonna go a little offset. This will make sense in a second. Like that. And then we also need to put his little antennas back in. There you go, guy. Actually, it should probably be a little darker. I think I will. Better brown pen. I know exactly what's going to happen. Oh, that's way darker than I wanted. That's all right. There. Okay. Then we got to fold this back over because you'll see the other side of his wings when we, on the other page. Yeah, I like that. Okay, then let's stamp something on the inside here. How about, do we want another word or something more interesting? What does this say? Return and forwarding postage guarantee, postmaster. I'm kind of thinking this side up, destination, shipment, collect. I'm just reading all the things I'm seeing apparently. Yeah, I'm gonna do a portion of this. Postage guaranteed. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, this is gonna be, hopefully this works, because I do not want to go finding a larger block. Okay. Please stay on. Sorry, I forgot to turn my phone off. So if that is also your ringtone or notification tone, it wasn't you, it was me. Sorry about that. Who wants me? What do they want? My husband. Our plans for the evening changed, of course. My daughter was supposed to have a JV softball game. She's starting pitcher for her high school JV team. And there is a bunch of, she goes to my kids go to it's not super small, but a smaller Christian school. So there's only like, I don't even know how many high schoolers in the whole high school. 200 and some, 300 and some. That's 9th through 12th grade. It's a pre-K through 12th grade school. So both my girls go there. But the reason why I'm telling you all this is because the band and the choir, I believe, have a concert weekend. They're away for the weekend. They went to Chicago, which is like 8 hours away. And some of the girls are on the team. And so between girls being sick and that, they don't have enough for the JV game or the JV team. So unfortunately my daughter does, and she's not on the varsity squad, so she doesn't get to play tonight, but she has to dress and go and do all the things. So she's bummed. And I said, well, you never know. With all those girls out, you might get swung up to varsity and get to play varsity. So just go with a good attitude and have fun. And do we still have to go? Since you're not playing, because it's like half an hour away from our house. And we do. And my husband, the varsity game is a time he can't make it. So he's not sure it's going to happen. Okay. I wanted to stamp. Let's wait to stamp because I don't know exactly where it's going to go. And I hate to make a bunch of labels and then not need them. All right, so we did that page. Let's move on then to this side because we're going to have this side here. So what's going to go over here? So let's set that aside. Sorry. Now I'm in the groove. I'm not going to mute my phone. It is what it is. Do we do a pop of green? Yeah. And should we stamp, let's see, we're going to see the moth on this side. All right, so we're going to, wait, what's going on here? Yeah, this is not folding very well. Must have too much stuff in it. Yeah, this bingo card is in the way. So this is fish. Okay, so we have a moth there. Let's see, we can do a tag. Oh, where's the photo? Let's do maybe a photo. Those are almost the same size, so I don't want to do that. Maybe a stamp. I don't like that. No, maybe it's just the photo and, oh yeah, let's do the photo and then a little label underneath it. Let's do that. A little bit of blue. We'll go with the photo here. And then we'll make a label to go underneath it. Let's see, something to do with a group of something. Numbers. Corresponding order, name of remitter. No. How about we just do the word members. So I have, this is my registered set. It says member, but we can get an S. We can make an S happen. So let's go over here. Let's not use that one. Let's do this one here. Come on. We'll do it right here. Upside down, not upside down. Okay, so we'll go, it's gonna get cut down. I don't want numbers behind it. Just figure it out. Here we go. We'll go like that, member, but we need an S, so we're not done. This sign here one seemed to work well last time I needed an S, so we'll do that. Just the right hand. Okay, so I'm just getting ink on the S from sign here. Looks like I got it all. And then carefully make it, well, that got a little weird, but that's okay. Not gonna worry about that. All right, so let's do, we're gonna cut this down a little bit though, because it's a little bigger than I want. I'm gonna leave it like that. Okay, we can use you. We need to ink that. Just get rid of the white edges. Then, members. Cool. Put members there. And then, I think I'm gonna pull out red. Let's go with barn door. Yeah. I'm gonna use barn door and I'm gonna put a star there. It's on my other set. It's on sign here. There's a little decorative star. I'm gonna put a star on this photo. Right there. Just a tiny pop. Okay. Cute. Next. What else? Uh-oh, my dangle. No! One of my paper beads is coming off. We gotta fix that. Come on. There we go. Wow, this has lasted me quite a while. My little dangle, my paper bead on it. All right, so we're good there. Next, we have these two cards. So let's do something with those. All right, fish. What are we doing? You know what's funny is I have a fish named Fish. It's his name. It's just Fish. Fish. Let's do the big pointy finger. That'll be fun. Let's see, fish is going to be up this way, so on the back, we're going to do a point, you know, let's do the stars too. We'll leave that out. Do pointy finger. Okay, so let's treat it like this. Then the pointy finger is going to be pointing down. Let's do it like this. Oh, that's cool. That worked out better than I thought it would. All right, so pointy finger. Then give me red back. We'll do star, star, and a star. Okay. Then how about we need to fill in this space down here. So how about, I think there's something on field notes. So what happens if you're starting out and you don't have this many stamp sets yet? Here's what you do. These feel really expensive to me. When, like, I struggle paying 30 bucks plus shipping and handling or whatever it is for a stamp set. It's just, it kind of hurts. However, I will tell you, friends, that if you don't have this set, this is worth the investment. If you're doing this type of crafting. I use this for so many different things. It needs a little bit of TLC because all of the things are popping out. But that one I would say is the number one. That's the first one I would buy. This one here, Tidbits, is also a really good value because you're getting a lot out of it, especially if you're doing this kind of stuff. Obviously mine, go buy those. Just kidding. And then I would definitely invest in field notes because this one is also, for me, a good one because I do really enjoy bugs and field notes and flowers and all the things. So for me, this is a winner. So I'm thinking, oops. No, I don't like that together. But because there's a fish on the back, that'd be weird. Let's do shipment collect in red. Oh, should we do it on the fish side? Yeah, let's do that. Let's go shipment. If you've never seen me use the stamp set this way, it did not come cut apart. I cut this apart because I wanted to be able to use these words independently. I cut them apart. Collect. There we go. Okay, that didn't really... Ooh, this side up. Have I ever used this one? I might not have ever used this one. That's weird. Yeah. I'm not sure how well it's gonna stamp since I've never used this one. I don't think I have. It seemed like it was still stuck in there. I'll go there. That works. You're not even gonna see it, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, then I wanted to do something on the back here and I was thinking maybe just doing this. Will it fit? It'll be close. Not in red. Let's do there. Right about there. Oh yeah, cool. That is cool. I like that a lot. I don't love the ink on my desk though. Oh, it's all over my fingers too. Okay, cool. All right, that one's done. Next. Okay, so that's gonna go in there. Oh yeah. There's nothing on that side, but that's okay. Oh, that is cool. Oh, okay. Then we were gonna have this tag sticking out, but now I kind of don't know if I want it to. I want to take away from how cool that is. Ooh, but I do like seeing the blue there. Let's try that out. Oh, yeah, okay. We're doing it and we're putting that side out, facing that way. Okay, how about, ooh, what if we did, well, that defeats the blue. We could do it on this side. Then that covers up all of the words. Okay. What's going on there? Just some stamping. Let's just do some stamping. We'll do this one. Hello? Where'd you go? Here you are. We'll just do this collect thing. Do it right. You know, we're going to do it in the I want to see the blue. We're going to do it over on this side. And then, what if, where are my bugs? What if we did just the edge of a bug? Which one? Let's do this one. I better use something to stamp on. So I'm probably ruining this whole idea of seeing the blue, but now I'm committed to a weird idea. So let's do it. Okay, got a bug. We'll go like that. Oh, yeah. Okay. So that's gonna go in here. Yeah. I like that a lot. That is fun. Okay. We're cooking. I love it. All right. Next, let's do something on this side. I'm going to grab a sign here, and we're going to put the from, we're going to do a little signature. We're going to do it quick. Just pick one. Quincy. Quincy something. Quincy, what's your last name? You're gonna be Quincy Davidson. QD. Good old QD. Doop. Okay. Then, come on. I think one of my next stamp sets has to be addresses, streets and cities and stuff. They'll probably be fictitious, or I'll pull them out of random, you know, maps or something. I don't know. Let's go with, instead of the address, we're going to do a telephone right there. Okay. I like it. I like it. All right. So then that gets tucked in there. You can kind of see. Yeah. Cool. All right. So we got that. We got that. We got that. All right. What's going on this page? Let's see. I think I'll do a photo maybe there. Yeah, I don't know. How about, okay, I was thinking, where was this one going? I think that goes here, right? Yeah. Okay, so I was thinking that I might like to have another one of these things do this. I don't think I want it there. Maybe it goes here and tucks in this way. I am definitely putting my hand in that ink. Yeah, let's do that. We'll attach it here, right in the middle, like that. Okay. Okay, that's gonna slide in there. How are we looking? Oh, we're looking like it's getting harder to fold. There we go. Okay, so then we see a peak of an, ooh, I like how the number thing is happening too. That is super cool. Okay. I don't know if I'm gonna put anything else on the front. Need something on the back. Let's do, oh, I shouldn't have glued that down yet. Because I want to stamp on the back. I'm gonna do a big bug. I think you see this is going down the field notes road, so it's probably going into that field notes folio. All right, let's stamp a big bug on the back of this one. Right, like that. Cool. And then we need to put something under it. And I know exactly what. Oh my gosh, these stamps are falling apart. I have this stamp here. I just showed this recently in a different video, but in case you didn't catch it, this is a clear version of Tim Holtz stamps. It's like a couple of different ones all comboed together. I'm not going to talk about that again because I've already done that a few times. But I've only talked about this once, I believe, and that is that I hacked this one apart because I also have it on field notes, which I know I've already shared this, but it's here, right? So I already have a version of it. Oh gosh, what happened? And I really like being able to use different parts of that one, so I hacked it apart, and this is why. I don't know what it is about me and blocks, but I like to use one that's a little bit more appropriately sized. It just bugs me. Specimen. There. Now, let's put a number on it. This right here. And I'm gonna do it right there. Lovely. Okay, so this card is done. I'm gonna tuck in there somehow. Okay, everybody get in line. All right, what's going here? Did we decide the photo? Yeah, I'm gonna do the photo again. I kind of want to back it with something else though. Maybe I don't. That's gonna add some bulk and probably be unnecessary. Or is it? Or is it? If we do, yeah, let's do that. Sorry, I got really quiet for a second there because I had to think about what I was about to do. So let's just stress the edges again, ink them. All right, and that is going to go like that. Yeah, let's do that. Adding a bit of bulk, but that's okay. We're already past that point of no return on the bulk here. So we'll put it right there, framed nicely. All right, it's going there. Then I feel like we need to do, I don't necessarily want to do another one of those. So I think I'm going to stamp right on there, I think. Is that going to work? What are we going to put? Series of numbers. What's Tidbits got? Let's see what's on here. Numbers. Nah. How about over here? Identification. U.S. serial number. Handle with care. Let's do Department 177. Maybe they all work together. All right, where'd you come from? You go over here. All right. Did I already glue that down? I did not. That works. I like it. Let's glue it down. Right there. I'm gonna leave that corner kind of pop up. All right. Okay, so then that is there. Now what's going on this other side? We need something behind this little card. Let's do this. I hope this works. This might look terrible. But I'm gonna go for it. Pull that out. Let's do this right here. That works. Okay, then, this big number. It's going to be covered most of the time anyway, but that's okay. This little line is begging for something to be next to it. Okay. Then this gets tucked back in here. Oh yeah, that works. That's cool. Okay. I keep putting that bingo card in too far. We're getting there, friends. Binding. It's going to be fun. And the slide. We got to put the slide in. Okay. Let's see. We're almost done. One little thing on the back, and then let's do something on this page. So let's open her up, take a look. What do we have left? We have, not you. Oh yeah, we gotta do this card. I don't need your antennas anymore. With some color, because what it's going to be against. What's happening here? Get in there. Let's see. So it's going to be like this. Is it? Okay, before I do that, what's going to go... I like this pop of green, and I'm thinking, I like seeing that, and I like the green. Like that. Okay, so we'll use the green there. And then on this side, we can do a stamp, a ticket, and a stamp. Maybe we go like, kind of like that little hole. I want to see the hole. And then, I don't know. I'm feeling like we could really use something like that. Some other shape. It's got some blue on the back. I like those numbers popping out. Maybe you're the problem. Yeah, okay, something like that. We still need something else. Stay! Let's close up the glue so we're not dealing with that issue. Ooh, I just saw something. A corner of my eye. What if we use this piece? Just got really quiet in my house all of a sudden. I'm the only, well, my dad's home, but he's downstairs. Everybody else is gone. Washing machine was on. It just stopped, so. It's a little blendy-inny. How can we, well, let's ink it. And then, what can we stamp it? Can we do something to change it a bit? What about, what's happening here? Lost a stamp. Nope, I found it. What if we used this round one? Wow, we might not need to do that. Let's not do that. I think that's just gonna feel weird, like out of place. But we could just stamp something round in the background in red. Yeah, okay. I think that'll solve my problem. My eyes are just not enjoying all those straight lines. So we'll do that. Yeah, I think that's gonna help. Then we have that and that. And then you got a weird line over here. So yeah, that helped a lot. And then we got to stamp something up here. Okay, let's get this down. Try that again. Okay, we were gonna have this kind of stick over here. I did not put that anywhere near where I was going to originally. That's okay, not upside down. Like that. Okay, what was in here? This card? Yeah. Was like this. Hello, get in there. Okay. This. See how chunky it's getting? Oh, okay. All right, getting there. Need something up here. What are we gonna put up there? I want like another big number of some sort. This thing, whatever this says. Cool. Okay. Now, I got this card to deal with. So this goes like this. Let's stamp something here. Let's go with another weird number. It's 4.5. Let's go down here. And then you're not really even going to see this, so it's not that big of a deal. Finest in the world. No, that doesn't really fit. Made in the factory, fair, ticket. Let's just use the word ticket. Up there. A bug? No, there's a bug on there. Nothing. How about nothing? Oh! It's gonna get covered. Well, it didn't work out. Because it's gonna be covered. That's okay. And the 4.5 is gonna, well, you can lift it up and see what's under there. So I'm gonna go with it. It's fine. So just on the top. Again, I just want to have it lift up, be interactive. Okay, probably let that dry for a minute. While that's drying, let's do stamping over here. Okay, so what could we use? Factory, reserved. Now let's use this one here. Number whatever it says. That and a star? Sure. Let's incorporate the star back in. Oh boy. Things are going everywhere. What did I do with that set? Sign here has the star. I still have to edit this video today? Oh boy. Okay. Where's this going? Right there. Get out of the way. Okay. Should we put something down here? How about we do the word ticket again, because I really liked how that's stamped. And I'm bummed you can't see it. Here it is. Alrighty. Go with the ticket. There. Okay. Alright, so then you're dry enough. You can go in there. So you stick out. Okay. I love that fish sticking up. That is so funny to me. What if we flopped that and we did the bug sticking up and the fish sticking out? Could we do that? How far in can you go? Oh, it sticks way out. No, you're definitely hanging out like that. Oh yeah, because we have the finger on the back. We want to see that. Okay. All right. Oh, we didn't stamp anything on this side of this folder. Let's do that. Get you out of the way. Get you out of the way. We gotta put some up there. Since we're gonna see that more, let's make it something really good. Like what? Another pointy finger? Nah. No. Book number. That's kind of boring. How big are we going here? Admit 1? Nah. How about this one here? Box 32. Ruh-roh. Get in there. I don't know if I'm gonna like that, but I'm gonna do it. I hate that extra bit. Get out of here. See ya. Better. Or I know exactly what would happen. Okay. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. It's fine. Back in there. Okay, so then took all of you guys out. Put you back in. You go there, you go there. Something like that. This goes somewhere like that. Come on, everybody. Cooperation is the key. All right. Flippy, 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 flippy. Fishy on the back. We're not going to put anything else on the back, but we are going to put a big stamp right there. What's it gonna be? How about something kind of big and fun? Perfection. Yes. Oh, will this fit? Guaranteed to be strictly high grade. It's gonna fit. We're making it work. I like that. I don't want it to go around to the front, so it's gonna have to go right there. Good enough. You know what it says, kind of. Uh-huh. All right. So then that card. It can't be super close to the center because then you can't fold it. Okay, tuck you in, tuck you in. Everybody go where you're supposed to go. Wait, what's happening here? Yeah. Yeah? Yeah. Okay. We're so close. We're so close. We just have to get the side in bound. Do I want to close it up or do I want to leave it open? Oh, and I don't know. If I close it up, let's see, how does that look? Yeah, because if you have it open, this is just too flimsy. That's not going to work. Okay, closed up it will be. Okay, so we're not going to close it yet because we're going to get everything in there, but we are going to do some stamping. So I'm doing a number here, or a word. Let's do a word. Where's registered? Identification. Will that fit? Let's try. Oh, just. Just barely. Oh, so sorry. I'm sure that was loud. Come on. What is happening right now? Get down. All right. Which direction? Let's go this direction. Identification. Okay. Then, how about a number? Number, the little word number. It's gonna go here. And then we need a couple of numbers. So we're gonna go with, I like starting with a 0. Let's do it in red. 0, 1. I'm gonna go with my favorite number. 1 and a 6. 16. 6, hello, where are you? Wait, is that right? Not a 9, thank you. Yeah, okay. 6. Okay, then I don't, yeah, I am gonna put something on the inside. Where's that? Let's do figure. Hello, I forgot to cut that. I'll do figure 2. Okay, so you probably couldn't see that. I forgot I cut this apart so I could use the word figure on its own. So figure 2 is what I'm going to use because I just don't feel like matching them up. All right, there. Cute. All right, got that done. How about, there's a little stamp here that says something about being received. And I don't want it upside down. Go there. Hey, there's a 16 right there next to that little tree. I didn't even realize that. If I did, I forgot. That was very cool. I like that. Okay, back side is getting a bird. I don't know if this will work. Might be, we're gonna do it. I don't know if the paper's too busy for it, but we're gonna try. Here. That works. And then there is, let's just do a number right there. Okay. And one more detail. How about, is there a little, yeah, I'm going to use these stars this time. There's this little 3-banger. Red is going to go here. Oops. Guess I got to clean my desk later. Yikes. All right. I think we've got all the stamping done. Now let's get some binding. Oh, I should probably close my glue. Where's my thing? All right, so now I'm going to get out a needle and my thread. I got my thread. Let's clean up a few things here. So you do not have to have anything special. Whatever works for you. It could be twine, it could be baker's, it could be this. Should it be this? No. Oh, I already have, is it attached to a needle? Oh, it is. Is this enough? Ooh, let's find out. That will be very good if it is. This is my essentially junk drawer, trinket drawer, whatever you want to call it. It's where I keep all of my extra stuff. It's like right tucked under. Another dangle. Yeah, so have yourself a little junk drawer. Keep all your random weird things in it. Or in my case, it's a, what is that? Like a utensil organizer. I don't think this is enough, but we're gonna try. All right, so here's how we do this. We are going to line everything up, and just so I don't have all this bulk, I'm gonna take all the cards out. Hopefully I remember where they all go. That's not a card. That is though. That is. Okay, did I get them all? Yeah, okay. Got all my cards out. So we're gonna line it all up so I know exactly where I want it to be. I want this to be in the middle. Like that. Okay. I am no expert at this by any means. This is just how I do it. So I kind of fold it up, and then I'm gonna take my needle. No, I'm not. That ain't gonna work. You're gonna need something a little thicker. What is the thingy I have? Here it is. I have one of these tools. It's like a paper piercer, crafty tool thing. Okay, so I've got everything lined up in the corner, and I'm basing it off of my little slide, okay? So I'm just going to find a spot, and I'm gonna poke a big hole through it. And then I'm gonna go over here and do the same thing without going through my finger. There. All right. Then I want I gotta think about this. I want my tail on the outside. So I'm gonna go from the outside, do it so you guys can see, from the outside, hello, into the middle, maybe. Come on. I think I got them out of line. Yeah. We're out of alignment here, so, and I've lost the hole. It's here somewhere. There we go. All right, got it through there. I'm gonna feed it through this hole. This works. Okay, and then I'm gonna feed it through this one. Alrighty, so I'm gonna pull that, and I wanna leave some on the outside. About, we'll go that much, okay? And then now I have to do it the other way. So I'm gonna go through this side. You know what you could do to reinforce this slide, if you have it, I'm not gonna do it, is if you have the sellotape, the Tim Holtz sellotape, or Margaret's Boo Boo tape printed on sticker paper, which I thought I did, but I don't. I might have imagined, I think I said this in another video, I swore I got it printed out and cut and everything, but I kind of wonder now if I imagined it, because I simply can't find it. But either way, some sort of cool sellotape, which I think I'm gonna do. There we go. Oh yeah, that was plenty. Look at that, with some to spare. Okay, so now I'm just going to, just get my thing off there. Now I'm going to tie it into a knot. This kind of got me into trouble on my first one I did, because I feel like it fell apart a little bit, but I'm gonna do it this way again anyway, because I want to. And rather than try to be in the middle, I'm just gonna go to the top of the holes. All right, so I think what the problem was is that I tried to not go super tight last time. How do you do this when you're, there we go. So I'm gonna pull it taut, but not too taut, because what ended up happening is it started ripping the paper. That's, I think, where I went wrong. I think we'll be okay on this one. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and tie it off in a couple of knots. Oh, I'm so excited about this little project. It's so cute. Okay, got a couple knots. So now it's bound. So cute. All right, and then I'm gonna try it with that sellotape. Let's go ahead and grab a piece. It doesn't have to be super long. That one works. And I'm just gonna do a piece right over there. And then fold it back up. All right. Now, that's much longer than I want. It's gonna flap open, that's okay. I'm gonna go about that length. Now let's get this piece on here. Okay. So, I'm gonna just lay this down. Hopefully you can see, I'll try to do it this way. If you ended up using, this is embroidery floss, and I just pulled a few pieces apart. I remember doing that. Whether I use that or I could have used this, I would have just tried to, if I was using sewing thread, I would just try to cut like 3 strands and use 3 strands if I could get it through my needle, which not every needle eye is the same, but I think it would work. Where's a piece of paper? If you are using white and you don't want it to be white, here's what you do. You ink it. No problem. It's not gonna be as pronounced on this because it's already a cream color, but there you go. So white, get yourself some white embroidery floss because you will be able to use it. Okay, so I'm trying to do this so you guys can see it in the light. All right, so we are going to put one of these down. This is tricky because I gotta be the same shape. So, or I have to line it up. Let's do it right about here. Just gonna put a big blob of glue down. And then I'm gonna position this how I want it. Okay, then I'm gonna take the other piece and I'm gonna put a little glue around the edges. Come on. Try not to get glue everywhere. I have to pick it up now. Can I do it without dropping it on the carpet? Oh, I did. All right, it's right side up. Yep, I just put that in my teeth so I could turn it one-handed. Totally worked. Okay, let's just squish it down. All right, and then I'm just gonna make sure it all lines up. Just gonna wiggle it in a little bit. You don't have much time with this glue, but you have enough. Okay, let that dry. I'm covered in ink. Let that dry, and then I will come back in and trim in that and ink it, because that's all it needs. I am not going to worry about a closure on this one right now because you might not have a bit of, well, I could have done this kind of closure. If you want a closure, that's one way to do it. So again, I just took the twine and I made sure I covered it with paper, and over on the side I covered it with a sticker. Okay, hold on. What is this? That is so adorable. I don't even remember making that. I think I must have a teeny tiny punch. And that's got an itty bitty sewing, it's got a little thread thimble or a thread spool on it. Oh gosh, that's cute. I don't remember that. Where's the, here. Oh come on. The closure that I did where I just took a piece of elastic. Totally works. Or, because I saw this, hold on. I get my junky drawer out. I have a paper clip. Come on. Ugh. I just have a gold paper clip. I'm just gonna use that for right now. Here's a whole bunch of paper clips and weird things, odds and ends, that could be used. So keep your odds and ends. You never know what you could use. And then, is this dry enough? It is. Okay. Ink. Well, let's do this first. I'm gonna try to do this so you can see. So I didn't line it up quite perfectly, so I'm just gonna do a little trimming without cutting the threads. That would really suck. There we go. All right. Just gonna ink around it because I don't want to see any of that white paper. And did I get it all? Not quite. Get it around the edges. All right, good enough. What a mess. Ugh. Okay, let's put all of the cards back in. I gotta not lose that needle. No idea how I'm gonna not lose that. Oh, now I gotta think where everything went. Oh, I never did the back of this one. I'll have to do that off camera because it's getting to be that point where we need to be done with this project because it's probably a 3-hour video. All right, so we're gonna tuck that one in there. Then this one goes see. This goes here so we can see the bug. And then the fish goes over here. Something ain't right. Oh, no. Were you screaming? I folded this one in the wrong way. Okay. Modifying this now. Oh, crud. Okay. It's fine. It doesn't matter. Okay, now that goes that way. That goes that way. That's a bummer. But also hilarious. That's a very me thing to do. Okay, fish, bug. Whatever. Card. Okay. I can't believe I did that. I can believe I did that, actually. That was a very me thing to do. Okay. I kind of like it better. Because you can see you can see this, but you can't see the 5. Okay, I kind of like it. I like the 3 with the 5. Yeah, all right, that worked out. Oh, and then you see this number. Was there something you saw on the other side? No. Okay, you know what? Oh, we're gonna close this. Oh, and then I put the tape there. You're not even gonna see it. Or the stupid stamping. I'm gonna leave it open now. All right, there's page, there's page. Bugs, fish. All right, we got all the things are in here. But you ended up in the right spot. I'm so confused. Yeah, you would have ended up there. No? Yeah. What happened? My brain is not processing what I'm looking at. How did this... Because wasn't the picture... Weren't those people on this one? Somebody... No, maybe not. Oh my gosh. Okay, be done. I don't even... It's not even late. I don't even know what just happened. I'm sure I'll figure it out when I edit the video and I'll be like, what is going on with you, girl? Okay, well, something seems awry, but okay. Not gonna worry about it. Ta-da! Right. And I'm gonna go to work. Oh boy, I don't know if that's a good idea. All right, I'm disgusting. I'm covered in glue. I'm covered in ink, but I am happy, clearly. A little giddy even. All right, so there is our J is for journal, or in our case, tiny journal. I didn't do any splattering. I didn't add any washi. That's all right. We, I think, have everything we need out of this project. I love it. I'm happy. It is done. Okay, friends. Tomorrow is J. Let's see. I, J, K. Oh, it's K. I have no idea. I truly have no idea for K. The only thing that's popping in my head is craft paper. And Kelly. Oh, I could talk about me. Just kidding, I'm not gonna do that, that's weird. It'll probably be something with craft paper. Maybe we'll do craft paper and labels. KLM. Let me look at my calendar because there is a very likelihood that I'm going to run into some problems with filming because I'm going to Texas next week, next Thursday. So tomorrow's video could end up being KLM. Well, that's kind of cheating because we're supposed to stick to the letter of the day. I'll come up with something. I'll brainstorm. I'm sure something will jump into my head. So we'll find out tomorrow, won't we? All right, friends. So thank you for joining me. If you liked this video, if you stuck around to the end, give me a thumbs up. And gold star for you. Subscribe if you haven't, if you think that this is something you'd want to be a part of again. I hope you will. Hit the bell so you get notified of the next video. So that is all for me today, friends. Go check out all the other creatives. Make sure you're checking out the hashtag that's in the description of this video. It is ABC April 2025. Go also look on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, I think. I don't know. I don't do TikTok. Social medias abound. Go check it out, find some more fun stuff, get inspired, get creative, get making, and I will get out of here. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye, friends.